let's just kick off.
Yeah.
The first one on our list is the BMW X1, which is maybe not the car you'd expect to find in a small SUV category. They're alphabetical, by the way. But X1 is previous X1s have been, maybe a little bit ho-hum. This one, it's just bang up to date. It's, one of the most modern cars that BMW makes. And these days, the thing about technology is that car makers don't reserve it for the really expensive cars. If they've got something to offer, it goes into everything. So this X1 is really like a miniature version of, big, really expensive BMW SUVs. It's got everything. It's got all the tech. There are two models. It starts at 72 grand, by the way. So that's probably a lot of money for a small SUV, but it's not a lot of money for a really high-tech premium BMW.
See, this is interesting because, I've always loved the X3 and the X5, and the X1 was just never a car I considered.
New X1 is an awesome thing. And there are only two models. There's a petrol one, which has got a 3-cylinder engine, which is actually a fantastically fun car to drive. But there's also now the iX one, which is a pure electric version. So that's got 430 k's range. It's a brilliant car too. Number 2 on the list, Kia Niro. Now, we're all familiar with the Kia Niro. It's been around for a while, since 2016. This is the brand new model. Niro has always been an electrified car only, but every type of electrification. So you can get a hybrid one, standard petrol electric. You can get a plug-in hybrid, a PHEV, and you can get a pure EV. So there's 3 different sort of powertrains, ton of different models to choose from. Really well priced, starts at 45 grand. We all think the new Niro looks fantastic. It's really unusual. It's got that big, the top versions have got that big coloured blade down the side of them, which I think looks fantastic. Like you buy a black one, you get a big orange blade down the side of it. Very cool. The PHEV's got pretty decent range, 60 k's, and the EV is actually 460 k's range. That's the pure electric version. So it's a great car, just really polished, does everything really well.
And you're going to have to congratulate Kia there too for, there's so many people that don't really know how to attack this kind of electrification market. Some are too shy, some might want to go halfway. So to cover all bases seems a fairly smart option.
Absolutely.
And then we've got the Toyota Yaris. Obviously, there's a number of different models in the Yaris range, but we judge the SUV categories on the holistic models, like the Kia Niro having various models, and same with the Toyota Yaris hatch. So we've got 1.5 litre petrol 3-cylinder. We've got the hybrid version as well, which is super economical, down to I think low 4 litres per 100, which in the current government setup still gets you a rebate. So it doesn't have a plug-in, but it still gets you a $2,000 rebate, which alone is an incentive. So starting about $40,000, give or take, depending on which model you get as well. But there's the hatch, there's the Yaris Cross as well, which is new and just gives you a different version as well. And like the other models, like the small SUV carries the technology and the mod cons from the larger models down, from the RAV4, for example, or the CHR. It kind of starts filtering down, and they have filtered down in the small SUV category as well. So, really, really impressive. Of course, it's a different model, but the Yaris GR Sport, of course, that won 2 years ago, that is a different body shape, different model, doesn't really fall under this category this time around, and can't really buy it anymore. So
there is actually a halfway house. So there's the Yaris Cross GR Sport. Is one that we drove this year, so that's the SUV, and it's not a full GR model, but it's got a little bit of, it's dressed up a bit, and it's got different suspension, and it's actually a really nice car to drive, and it looks the part too.
When you're choosing these categories and these cars, and they have a range of different engines, when a car has a certain performance variant, does that add to the kind of the want to have that car? Does that give it points?
I think like any sports car in any brands, it gives it kudos. Credentials and kudos and credence. So definitely, and then certainly the GR Yaris has bumped up the Yaris name. Yeah,
and it's just more choice for consumers. And the fact of the matter is, the GR Sport is not the most expensive Yaris Cross, so it's a perfectly viable choice. If you want the one that's looks a bit snazzier, you're not paying the most.
Right, wonderful. Now you guys have got a pretty big job on that. They're 3 great cars.